Just as I often say, if you choose to accept this idea as part of your paradigm, when you think of different divine beings, Thoth, the goddess of magic, Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and abundance, Aphrodite of love and sexuality, Athena of wisdom. There's so many gods and goddesses and so many pantheons and traditions. They're anthropomorphizations of source. Connecting with the idea of God, of all, everything. It's like, well, that includes leaves, that includes money, that includes skin, that includes this planet, that includes all beings that ever lived on all planets, that includes supernovae. Wow, what was the first thing I thought of again, right? There's so much there. So anthropomorphizing and breaking down divinity to bite-sized chunks that you can conceive of as you branch out to the almighty cosmic everythingness that is source, including you and me and the device you're watching this on or listening to this on. As we work up to that, we work with the concept of divinities. And if you're in a monotheistic tradition, that divinity likely has a name, and you can just work with that if that's your preferred system. And if you're atheist, you can just think about source, the universe, the matrix, or life as a whole. And so as you think about that, there's so many different aspects of the authentic whole self that your best self, who you choose to show up to be, is an authentic aspect of you. It may not be a default aspect of you, but when I'm at the gym and I'm lifting weights and I'm building strength, that is a high expression of my authentic strength. If I'm feeling very physically weak for any reason, that's authentic in that moment. It isn't representative, though, of that other aspect of me. So what you want to do is you want to show up. If you have a really important thing, a performance, a presentation, a recital, a court date, an interview, an important first date or third date, a marriage proposal date, seeing somebody really important you haven't seen in a long time, any of those things, you want to represent yourself in an authentic way that is the highest form of you that can show up in that moment related to that subject. So this is the same thing. As you consider the different aspects of your ego and as you map those out, and we'll get into the exercise part in just a second, what you want to do is you want to find the core part of yourself that is really aligned with how you wish to respond from your highest self at any moment. This might be natural in heightened states. This might be natural when life is going well for you, when the foundations are really set. This might be natural in certain altered states of consciousness or when you're feeling really good. But when it doesn't come reactively by default, you can engineer it. And what that does is, as Dr. Joe Dispenza and many, many other people say, is those neural circuits are in your brain. And by firing them, by speaking, acting, thinking, moving in such a way that represents those, they're more active, they fire more on. So even if it takes effort to get them firing, it'll take less effort next time. Think about rolling a boulder up a hill. Say this beautiful herbal blend from droppingseeds.com, excellent herbs for teas and other uses. Say it's just sitting on a flat plane, right? It's not moving at all. But if you give it a little bit of inertia, if you just push it a little bit, then its momentum will carry it forward. So oftentimes, all you need to do is give a slight push. Some things might feel heavier, and if they do, just say, I'm just going to do this for 5 minutes. And if you have the inner strength to exert 5 minutes of effort, you will grow so much because you'll get yourself in the habit. You'll be building the habit of becoming who you want to be, no matter how you're feeling, what's going on. And if you don't feel you have the inner resource to exert 5 minutes of effort, take a rest, take a break, right? Like, if you can't exert 5 minutes of effort, you are possibly overwhelmed or depleted. You need to nourish yourself and get some self-care, whatever that looks like. Ideally something that is sustainable and holistic and physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually healthy. Whatever it is, I encourage you to do that. And I'd say do that now if you really want to do this exercise and re-nourish and replenish yourself. And I'll be silent for just 30 seconds if you would like something like that from me. I'm just going to send you loving energy and source. A lot of people have said they felt my energy through my videos, so this could be one way you could charge up. Well, I hope you feel better if you needed to feel better. And so now that you feel a bit resourced, an exercise in the moment, we're going to flip the order a little bit here, is to take 5 minutes right now and exert effort being your ideal self in the component that is either most important to you or most available to you. You're going to start that habit of firing those circuits you want to fire that maybe haven't fired for days, weeks, months, years, depending on who you are. And set a timer on your device and just for 5 minutes express that. Maybe you talk out loud, maybe you write something, maybe you walk a certain way. I would encourage you in this practice not to interact with somebody and get unexpected energies back, because what you want to do is you want to build safety into your system, that it is safe and okay to live in this space. A lot of times, because of past trauma and emotional wounds, we dehabituate out of that. So just I want you to express that however you can, even if you just think about it and visualize it with full focus. But ideally, if you can, speak it and just engage your body as much as you can. And don't just speak like this, like robot theater with no inflection or emotion. Like speak like I'm speaking to you. I have some energy in my voice, I have some emotion, I have some expression. I'm talking with you in an engaged way. I'm doing that a little bit intentionally and a little bit out of habit because I've spoken a lot and I've transmitted a lot. So those circuits are pretty active in my system. Okay, so ready for those 5 minutes? Go.